Hey everybody, what's up? Yeah, it's early TGIF today, but I wanted to talk about something if I can find it on here. I gotta refresh it. But it has to do with the PS4 and the Xbox One. And there's a lot of news that's been coming out of those areas, if you know what I mean. First of all, today was, I guess yesterday I should say, there was a conference, if you will, with Sony discussing the PS4, and the head person in charge of it basically said that the PS4 is going to be a game-centric console. In other words, its primary focus is games, but also noted that there will be other uses for it. So in other words, what they're saying is the prime focus for the PS4 is for it to be a game console, but it will have other features. And of course, I'm pretty sure, I think we know what those features will be. It'll have internet, of course. It'll have access, obviously, for things, apps like Netflix and YouTube and maybe Hula and all that. And of course, no doubt, it'll have Blu-ray, 1080p, no doubt. Now, that is great news, especially if you're considering which console to buy. In fact, they even have another article up, and this is all from IGN. They have another article up that's kind of a little fun article. Basically, it's like a percentage deal, like looking at basically it's like a little bit like pie charts and stuff, looking at certain things. And basically, it is said, the headline for this article, or this chart, if you will, basically states that basically about 70 to 80%, just around that thing. I think it's at 78. I'm not sure, but let's say, but primarily between 70 and 80% of gamers will not pay the full price of the next gen games. In other words, let's say Destiny, which is coming out for both PS4 and Xbox One. Let's look at this on average. On average, a game nowadays is between $39 to $59. It's basically between $40 to $60. But it all depends on if you don't get the deluxe gift set and all that, which primarily a lot of people do sometimes. But anyway, basically according to this, one of the things down below stated, and these are just small percentages, the one thing below said 9% of Xbox 360 owners, like myself, 9% would rather buy a PS4 than go out and buy the Xbox One. Well, it states, and they said this is just for fun, from what they've read and everything, but it also states that 3% would rather buy an Xbox One than a PS4. Now, that 3% is 3% of PS3 owners. But here's the catch. You have people out there that own not just an Xbox, but they also own, if you will, a PS3. Just like when the original Xbox came out and the PS2 came out, people owned both of those. I mean, look, I'm one of those people that owns an Xbox 360 and a Wii. There are people that own all three. But the point is, from what this little fun percentage pie chart thing that they did, and I'll provide the links down below, basically, it seems from what they could tell, not many people are very happy about what the price range could be for games. Especially with the fact that everybody's been talking about over the past week or so, is the used game and fee situation. I mean, initially, as I've stated, Angry Joe has stated, Ball Matrix has stated, MJ Knight, everybody that's talked about this has stated, essentially, you'd be paying more for a used game. Basically, let's say you want to go to a GameStop and you want to buy the Xbox One version of the sequel to this, which is WWE 2K14. Let's say you want to buy that. Alright, that's fine. Go ahead and buy it. And let's say they price it for, I don't know, $59 or $50, $49.99, basically $50. Okay, that's no problem. But when you get it home, but as you're buying it, you also hear that you got to pay a fee when you get back, and you're thinking, okay, the fee's not too bad. Until you find out, probably when you install the game into the system, that the fee cost essentially about $52 to $53. Now, what does that mean? It essentially means that if, let's say, WWE's, let's say the sequel to this, the Xbox One version, is, let's say its retail price is about $69, or even $59 if they want to keep it at that price range, which I think would be great. That essentially you'd be paying $102 almost about 100 tax. If you include tax, you're almost looking at essentially $105 to $110 you'd be spending in one day of just one day for one game. For just one game that for regular retail price at say a Walmart or Best Buy, you could get a lot cheaper, and when you install it, you don't have to worry about the fee. And like I said in that response video to Ball Matrix, that's essentially what this whole thing's about. Basically they're saying, hey, you don't want to pay the fee, buy it new. That's the only thing I can think of. And speaking of prices, I'm pretty sure people have been talking about this as well, but the prices for the consoles themselves, placeholding or not, is really out there at times. There have been prices, placeholding or not, that have ranged from the 700s or the 800s to the 1300s. I'm not lying. And one might think, well, why in the world would they price them that high? It does not make any sense. Well, it kind of does. Now, I don't think, honestly, the PS4 is going to cost that much, because if it's going to mainly be a game-centric console with a few features like Blu-ray and internet and all that, I don't think it's going to cost as much as Microsoft, because Microsoft is basically touting the Xbox One as an all-in-one system. Now, if I can find it here. I'm trying to find it here on the app. Or on here, basically, on the internet. But again, it's more along the lines of the fact that initially it sounds like the Xbox One, from what I have seen, placeholding on retail is basically going to cost more than the PS4. Now, some people might say, well, and here it is right here, retailers. It says online retailers list Xbox One and PS4 pre-orders. And this is what it says. it says, subtitle underneath, it may be time to get a second job. And this was posted yesterday. And this is what they said, and I quote, "Retailers have begun to list prices for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, PS4, possibly suggesting the price range we can expect when both consoles are released later this year. It's not uncommon for sites to use placeholder prices in order to accept pre-orders. But the timing suggests that retailers are preparing for Sony and Microsoft to announce official price points at E3 next month. For now, none of the following prices, and this is the key word, none. For now, none of the following prices are confirmed. Basically meaning what I'm about to say is not official yet, it's just being talked about and rumored. It states that Amazon's UK site lists $599, basically £600, roughly $912 here in the US, for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, separate from the price point of 600 German dollars, roughly $781 price point on Amazon Germany. Though as seen below, that site previously had a price of $999, basically 1,000 German dollars, roughly $1,300. Meanwhile, Zava lists both consoles at £399, basically £400, roughly $607. Again, these are not basically, these prices are not confirmed, but they continue on to say, again, these prices are simply to allow retailers' systems to accept pre-orders. And a message on Amazon notes, quote, "There are no official prices announced for Xbox One products. The price above is a placeholder. With our pre-order price guarantee, you can order now, and if the Amazon.q.uk price, or in our case Amazon.com price, decreases between the time you place your order and the release date, you'll be charged the lowest price," which of course is true. I have a queue right now of 6 items that I'm hopefully going to try to get within the next week or so. And I always check every time I go on Amazon, and sometimes it'll tell me if something that I have in my queue or my saved items is either increased or decreased. Continuing on, the article continues on and says, "It's also worth noting that previous rumors suggested that Microsoft may offer 2 price points for Xbox One, including a subsidized $299 model that would carry a $15 monthly fee. That rumor suggested a $499 price for the additional model. Interestingly, excuse me. Let me drink some Coke here. Okay. Interestingly, price points for next-gen games also have yet to be announced. And listings on Amazon US and Amazon.Denmark list game prices at 900, not 900, woo, that would kill people. Game prices at $99, at basically $99.99, $100, and 100, and basically 100 Denmark German dollars, respectively. Again, these are simply placeholders, but may indicate that games will be more expensive on next-gen consoles. Well, no duh, but let's hope that's not the case. We've reached out to various publishers, as well as both Sony and Microsoft, about pricing, and will update with any comment we receive. It's a safe bet to expect more information at each company's E3 2013 press conference on Monday, June 10th. Okay, so there's part of the situation right there, the price range. Now, the placeholding price does not sound promising, but if the placeholding price does kind of say that perhaps we're going to end up in the 600 range, for some of us that may be okay. For a lot of us it won't be. You know, and if the retail price, what they're suggesting here for the Xbox One and maybe the PS4, for like say one model, will be, let's say, $300, that's okay. I mean, heck, for someone like me, when it comes out, if I save the money, and I hopefully will, I'll get one of them. Probably leaning more towards a PS4. However, again, these are just unconfirmed prices for placeholding and all that. Now, the game-wise, again, is just now the games themselves, again, are just rumored as price-holding prices, which could indicate that if they're being placeholded, placeholding prices, if you will, is what I'm trying to say, is being talked about around $100, then you can pretty much speculate that you're looking at maybe $70 to $80 a game. But let's hope that's not the case. You know. But again, when you think about it, as much as somebody hates to say it, if you are considering, let's say, getting an Xbox One, then the cheaper way to go is to get a freaking $70 to $80 game than to go into used games, because essentially, you know, who knows, you're going to be paying more, if not the exact same price. But we just have to wait and see what they say at E3 in the next week or so. A week from this Monday. I know one thing. This console, the PS4 console, the Wii U, and the Wii are all going to end up getting financial spike booms in the next few months if the prices that are rumored here are true or close to being true. That, to me, is the best sorry about that. But that, to me, is the best option that gamers are going to have. Because as mentioned, if those prices are exactly what people are predicting, or rumored in that vicinity to be exactly close to that price, this system, PS3, Wii, and Wii U are all going to take off like a shot. And all games that will be coming out with this, which will probably also be featured on Xbox One and PS4, all PS3, Xbox 360 games, Wii and Wii U games are all going to be taken off like that. And you know why? Because people aren't going to want to pay the prices that people are suggesting here. Unless, like the subtitle says under the subheadline says, unless they have a second or third job. So, I'll provide the links down below so you guys can look at them yourself. But like I said, the primary thing, the good news I've heard when it comes to like the PS4, the good news is, it sounds like they do want to focus more on games than they do on anything else, even though, as it says at the end of the article, it will have other functions besides just the central gaming experience. But we'll just have to wait and see. So that's all I'm going to say on it. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out. God bless.